So there's this nefarious ingredient that's probably in a lot of the food and drink that you're already eating. It's in sports drinks, processed snacks, and food replacements. A lot of people have no idea it's there or what it even is. When they do find out, their reaction is usually the same. You see the name, they Google it, they get scared away by something that they find, and they stay away from it forever. Now here's the problem with that reaction. There are two versions of this ingredient. It has everything to do with the actual purpose of the ingredient and the dose. And if you're one of the people that got scared off, you might be avoiding some food or supplement that you actually want or maybe even need needlessly. The ingredient is called Maltodextrin. I'm going to break down when this product is being used to pad products with empty carbs and when it's actually serving a useful purpose. Okay, so what is Maltodextrin actually? People like to use the term filler and make it sound like it's some highly processed, completely unnatural, completely purposeless. It's actually just a carbohydrate. It's made from starch, usually something like corn or potato or rice. You take that starch and you break it down into shorter chains of glucose and you get maltodextrin. It's been reviewed by the FDA. It's classified as generally recognized as safe. It's been evaluated by the WHO. And there's no established upper limit because at the end of the day, it's just a carb. Your body processes it the same as it does any other carbohydrate. Enzymes break it down and glucose enters your bloodstream. Your body uses it for energy. It's around 4 calories per gram. Same as white rice, bread, and table sugar. So when people say that maltodextrin is bad, what they're actually saying, whether they know it or not, is that carbohydrates at really high levels in any capacity can be bad for you. But that's not a maltodextrin problem, that's a dosage problem. So where the conversation tends to go off the rails is where people don't actually ask how much maltodextrin is actually in the product that they're eating. They just kind of see it on the label and they go into panic mode. Instead of reading a product label and going, oh, this product has too many carbs, they read the product and go, oh, this has bad filler, it's processed garbage or something like that. Now here's where I'll give all the critics some credit, because there's a real reason that this ingredient has a bad reputation. There are products out there, and you've seen them, I'm not going to name any names, that use maltodextrin as a cheap filler. You got a tub that looks full, the serving size looks impressive on paper, and then you dig into what's actually in that food or drink and find out that a huge portion of the actual weight is just maltodextrin. It's there to fill space and add bulk, which makes the cost per unit for the company selling it look better. It doesn't really have any functional reason. That's where the term filler comes from. Companies will put high volumes of maltodextrin in their foods or drinks just to make you feel fuller when you take them for cheap, and also to make it visually look like you're getting more. This is a legitimate complaint, not because maltodextrin is actually toxic, it's still just a carb, but because if you're being sold 20, 30, or even 40 grams of an empty carbohydrate that does nothing for your performance, your blood sugar does spike. But that's a transparency problem. It's about formulation integrity. But I just can't stand seeing all these people talk about how maltodextrin itself is like a poisonous ingredient. That's where everyone's losing the nuance. Think about Gatorade powder. Maltodextrin is one of the first ingredients, and a serving of that Gatorade powder can be 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates. For an active athlete who needs rapid carb replenishment during training, that's actually the point. That maltodextrin is doing a great job. Is it the right product for someone who's sitting at a desk all day? Probably not. So the ingredient isn't the problem, the context and the dosage is. Now that's on the negative use of maltodextrin, but what a lot of people don't know is that maltodextrin can actually be used, especially in some supplement drink powders, for some really useful things. Flavor suspension. Making sure that when you have a drink powder, the flavor is actually dispersed and suspended in the powder across the entire drink and not just focused at the bottom, or you're not getting all that punch in one sip. All sorts of supplements and powders require some extra ingredients to make things really work. But if you ever find a supplement that's using maltodextrin, and how to know if the maltodextrin is actually a negative problem for you is just to look at the calories and total carbohydrates in the product that you're buying. If you're buying a supplement drink, like take Nova Prime Blend for example, there's less than 1 gram of maltodextrin in Nova Prime Blend. It's not even worth counting in your calories for the day. It's a necessary ingredient to make the drink taste better, a more consistent experience, and to help the creatine remain suspended in the drink and completely benign. So instead of looking directly at the ingredient maltodextrin and thinking, oh no, this is bad, what you should really do is see the ingredient maltodextrin in the product that you're about to buy, and then look directly at the carbs and the calories. If it's a really high calorie item, then yeah, a lot of it might be maltodextrin. If you lead a sedentary lifestyle and don't want any more carbs, then maybe you should stay away from that item. Or if you're like me and you're pretty athletic, you move your body a lot, you might want to slam that Gatorade while you're playing that sport. I have no problem with that. I actually love those quick carbs. But if you find maltodextrin in something that doesn't have many calories in it or many carbs at all, you have nothing to worry about. Now, I also do want to address one other thing. There are some gut health concerns that do tend to come up a lot in the maltodextrin discussion. There's this mouse study that gets passed around, the one that did show a disruption in gut bacteria, and it can sound alarming until you look at the actual methodology behind it. These mice were consuming maltodextrin at 5% solution in their drinking water for 2 weeks straight. 5% means 50 grams per liter. That's a stress testing model. That's not a model that's designed to reflect what actually happens if you're consuming moderate amounts. Early animal studies like that are designed to push the absolute limit. They're usually looking to figure out where failure points exist and define the maximum amount of intake. Totally useful science, but pulling that headline and then applying that opinion or that outcome to something like a supplement powder makes no sense when the supplement powders are using less than a gram. Human data is always mixed and dose dependent. The actual exposure level is variable. Make sure you're getting varied carb sources. If someone can't tell you why an ingredient is in their product, that should raise a red flag. I built the Nova Prime blend with this exact mindset. Every ingredient has a reason to be in there at a dose that actually does something and no more than is necessary. If you want to look at the full formula, it's linked below. Everything is disclosed and nothing is hidden behind a proprietary blend. And if you've got questions, I can help you in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.